Ok, let's go. Continuons à voir si c'est la fin ou pas du jeu. J'ai pas compris de quoi tu parles, Turpinette. De quel jeu tu parles? Ah, les casquettes sont parties. Je peux voir s'il y a des coffres. Ah, il y a des portes déjà. Ok. X7, ok. Et du coup, c'était juste des couloirs pour aller là. D'accord. Ok, bon, c'est un de fou. Je vais voir la meilleure perso du jeu. Chion.
Is something going on?
Sounds like it. Kisara wants us all to meet at the castle entrance. Taking in the view again?
Yeah. Looking at the scenery helps take my mind off things.
Like what?
Being a maiden. Whether I really am a descendant of Naori. Those kinds of things.
So, are you mad at me?
For what?
I destroyed the Renaissance. Right as you were about to get rid of your thorns forever.
Why did you destroy it?
When I saw it appear in front of me, it reminded me of what happened back on Lenegus. And the rest was... it was all just a blur. I'm sorry.
It must have been a pretty terrible memory. Besides, we don't know that the Renas Alma actually was destroyed. For all we know, it might have disappeared with that red woman.
If so, then why are
Don't.
you...
It's okay. You brought me back. You got me away from Volron. That's enough for now. Let's get going. We shouldn't keep everyone waiting.
Tu viens de rejoindre le groupe, ok. Encore un R1.
Hey,
Vous avez pas manqué ça.
Don't.
Okay.
I'm sorry. But if you come any closer, you'll only end up getting hurt.
Because of your thorns, you mean? Trust me, I've endured...
No, that's not it. You don't understand, Never mind. Sorry, just forget I said anything, okay?
If it isn't your thorns, does that mean there's something else?
It's just... It's nothing, really, okay? So you can stop asking me.
Okay. In that case, I'll see you up ahead, okay?
Ok. Alors, bon. Allons voir qu'est-ce qu'on doit faire d'autre. C'est quoi ici, là? Ah oui, c'est là qu'on a mis la pierre, à la fin. Il n'y a pas de coffre sur les côtés et tout? Ah. Par contre, si c'est un buff à la fin du jeu. Dans le ranch, je sors pas grand chose, je trouve. À part à farmer buff et tout, quoi, mais. Le d'ananas, ok, super. Ouais, ça sert pas à grand chose, hein. Faut que j'aille où du coup? Mais je peux pas me téléporter dans tous les cas. De toute façon, on va marcher un peu. En tout cas, je pense qu'on est vers la, je pense que c'est la fin du jeu. C'est genre l'épilogue. Jeu exceptionnel, hein, vraiment. Trop bien, histoire de fou. Malheureusement, certains trucs que j'ai pas compris, j'ai toujours pas compris d'ailleurs. Je regarderai sur YouTube voir des tutos parce que je comprends pas. Genre dans Arte là par exemple. Là, donc par exemple tranchant, tu vois il y a marqué double croc démoniaque. Donc quand je fais l'attaque, ça fait produire une succession rapide de 2 ondes de choc au sol. Ça j'ai compris. Ça utilise 2 barres, j'ai compris. Et utilisation, je l'ai fait 514 fois, ok. Et c'est quoi tranchant ardent, vague brûlante? Je sais pas ce que c'est. Et là c'est cercle explosif. Là c'est envol du phénix. Torrent infernal, je sais pas. Je sais pas ce que c'est. Et ça, il y a qu'un seul... Il y a qu'une seule attaque qui faisait ça. Et torrent infernal, je crois. Je restais appuyé sur carré, ça faisait l'attaque du feu. Il y a qu'avec cette attaque là que j'avais réussi à le faire. Depuis, j'ai jamais réussi à... Avec une autre attaque, donc je sais pas. J'ai jamais compris à quoi ça servait ces trucs. Je regarderai sur Google. Hein. On a réussi à finir le jeu sans ça, donc... Let's go, hein. Je trouve ça un peu dommage aussi que dans tout le jeu, on n'utilise pas les cœurs primordiaux, là, je sais plus comment ça s'appelle. Genre là, on a l'épée de feu, on aurait pu avoir l'épée de vent, ou je sais pas, des autres armes, quoi. Dommage qu'on s'en serve pas.
Guess I misread the landing.
Alors attends, est-ce que je dois... Et les guillons, c'est où? C'est dans la... C'est en bas, hein. Ouais, je suis partir du château. Ah mais du coup, je peux plus farmer les gardes violets. Bah ça, en vrai, il me donne beaucoup de ressources. Tu vois, j'ai trouvé que les 2 chiens étaient beaucoup plus durs que le boss final. Le boss final était trop facile. Genre, je l'ai first try, quoi. Beaucoup trop simple. Alors je sais pas s'il faut aller là, je vais voir. Après niveau 3, s'il faut aller monter 3 étages et je fais de la merde. En tout cas là il y a quelqu'un, donc Edoleim. Ou Alim, pardon.
Oh, it's you two. I suppose that makes me the last one then.
We better get a move on or else we'll never hear the end of it from Kisara.
Right you are. A month has passed since we vanquished Volron. I would have thought that the Renans on Lenegis would have made their move by now. Yet they still remain as silent as ever. We have no idea what happened to Volron's body, nor its whereabouts. The Red Woman also has yet to reappear, for that matter. And contrary to what I had heard, when the Renis Alma formed, not 5, but 6 elements were present, with darkness constituting the 6th and final master core. Were either of you aware of this?
You mean about the Renis Alma? Of course not.
Same. I had no idea a Darkness Master Core even existed.
What about Shion's maiden powers?
No. That was the first I learned about that, too. Or anything about having that power.
Me too. I remember thinking the same thing.
What could it all mean, I wonder? There are so many questions with too few answers. Particularly when it comes to that Red Woman and her abilities.
Were it any other ability that used astral energy, I'd say it was an astral art. But hers was... different.
Speaking of astral energy, we also mustn't forget that while the other Master Cores disappeared when forming the Renis Alma, for some reason the Fire Master Core remained. It may well have been the work of your maidenly powers. Alphen, are you still able to wield the blazing sword as before?
For now, at least. That Renis Alma sucked most of the energy out of the Fire Master Core, but it still has enough for me to use the sword.
And the sword is safe inside of me for the time being.
Good. At least that's one thing we needn't concern ourselves over.
You can say that again. We have more than enough to deal with as it is. Let's go.
Hey, wait up!
Ok, donc je peux encore utiliser l'épée, tu vois. Il m'a rejoint le groupe. Je crois que j'ai loupé 2 personnages. C'était le dernier. Et non. Ah, niveau 3, c'est bien là. fait. Ah, donc c'est bien là. Donc il y a Lo et Rinwell. Il manque. Kisawa était là aussi?
This is Ganya, who has a problem he needs help with. I was just about to ask him what that problem is.
All right, then. Well, tell us what's on your mind, Ganya.
I'm hungry.
You're hungry? Where are your rations?
I did.
Are they not enough?
No.
Then what's the problem?
Alphen, you have to remember, these people aren't used to responding so quickly. Be slow and gentle with him.
Oh, right. I forgot. Sorry about that. So you have your rations, and it's enough food, but there's still something wrong with them. What is it exactly?
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I got that part.
Do your rations taste bad?
I don't know.
What's that supposed to mean?
I haven't eaten them, so I don't know how they taste.
Wait, if you're not eating them, then what are you doing with them?
Bringing them into the castle.
What? Why? Wait, back up. Are others doing this? Who told you to bring your rations in?
Everyone in my group is doing it. I don't know who told us to do it. They only said to bring the rations into the castle.
I'm guessing none of us told them to do it, or else we'd know, right?
I was afraid that something like this might happen. The people in this capital are slowly regaining their own wills, but not everybody is getting them back at the same rate.
Are you saying someone who got their will back sooner might be taking rations from other people? If so, that's a serious problem.
Definitely. This is something we can't ignore. We need to investigate the castle.
C'est bizarre ça. Il est con comme une câble lui, mais...
Seems like the people here still tend to
Oh, les reins, c'est bon les reins.
Hey,
On a
remind
compris.
me, just what exactly are we all doing here?
What do you mean? We're helping people, aren't we?
Could have fooled me. Lately it feels like everything we're doing ends up half-baked. We liberated the people of Pelagian, but their hearts and minds are no less under the yoke than the day we found them. As for Volron's cronies, we have no idea where they scampered off to.
You think I don't already know all that? We're doing everything we can, aren't we? We didn't choose to get stuck here. Sometimes you have to play the hand you're dealt. Besides, you've seen all the same things I have. You know as well as I do that deposing the lords alone won't solve all the world's problems.
Rinwell's right. We've gotten this far, haven't we? We can't just leave things unfinished now.
I guess? I mean, I didn't think we'd be singing around the campfire as soon as the wall came down, but still.
The fight isn't over just yet. At least not while Lenegis remains a threat.
I'm just sick of all this waiting. If they're gonna invade, why don't they get a move on already?
Stop that! Don't you think we've got enough problems as it is without you tempting fate? Spot something?
Oh, no. Just wondering if I could see any armored guards.
Armored guards? You mean Volron's soldiers?
The moment we defeated their lord, all those guys bolted out of there. And not just out of the castle either. The city, too. For better or worse, it was the guards who looked after the city's Danans. Without them, making Pelagian half-habitable again has been one big headache.
It's not like they were on their last legs. They could have chosen to stay and fight, but instead they ran away and disappeared without a trace.
But without a lord to follow, they can't have any place to go. Unless... You don't think they went to Lenegis, do you?
It's not completely out of the question. Though I'd say it's more likely they're biding their time somewhere, just waiting for the perfect moment to strike back at us.
The people here in Pelagian are nowhere near ready to defend themselves. Great. Another headache to worry about. Is it just me, or was today's dinner a little low on salt?
I felt that it was seasoned perfectly, so as to bring out the flavor of the ingredients.
Last taste buds are still like a kid's, so if his food isn't rich enough, I bet he doesn't feel like he's eaten anything at all.
Don't make fun of me! We all need salt in order to survive!
He has a point. You do lose stamina if you don't get enough salt in your body.
Yeah, I remember seeing people trying to lick the rocks back in Calaglia.
What? Why would anybody do that?
Sometimes you can find rocks out there that taste salty. They used to say it was because of all the tears we slaves shed.
Most likely, that was actually rock salt that they found. When our provisions ran low, Miguel would often bring some back for us to use. At the time, we used it because it's all we had. But now there's something hearty about rock salt I like. Even more than table salt.
Is it possible, perhaps, to find any rock salt in these parts?
It is. You have to know what you're looking for, but when I find any, I always break some up to refill our supply. The flavor even changes depending on what kind of terrain it comes from. Sometimes I end up collecting more than we need, just in case we like it.
Wow, Kisara's really serious about her salt.
You can always count on Kisara to be earnest. That's why we have to do our part and not add any more to her burden.
On a eu 3 erreurs d'affilée. Ouais, j'ai pensé à un truc en même temps là. C'est un peu dommage, ils ont mis une sorte de mécanique de boss avec une aura rouge super fort qui rapporte beaucoup de trucs. Donc on en a rencontré genre 4 dans toute l'aventure. Dont un au début du jeu niveau 45. Et là actuellement je suis niveau 6. Donc comment on fait en fait pour les tuer? Des trucs de endgame du coup? Surtout l'insecte géant, je parle. C'est un peu dommage. On aurait pu en avoir plus. Et des plus faisables, je trouve.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
Level 6, qu'est-ce que tu racontes, level 6? Raconter sur Pinette. Ah, mais il y a un hibou, je suis là. Bonjour, monsieur le hibou. C'est la forêt des hiboux qui est pas trop mis en avant, je trouve. À 2000 il faut là. Mais... comment ils veulent qu'on ait autant de PC aussi? Je comprends pas. Il y a beaucoup trop de... on demande beaucoup trop de points en fait. Pour avoir toutes les compétences à fond, c'est... je comprends pas ça aussi. Ça me paraît irréalisable en fait. Comme si le jeu, on était à la moitié du jeu, tu vois. Alors que là, pour moi, on a la fin. Et il y a les quêtes de fin de jeu aussi. Les secondaires de fin de jeu. Les quêtes secondaires, vous savez, on les passe. Ok. Ok, alors. Là je suis 36 là actuellement. Ouais, j'ai dit là je suis 36 et le mec au début du jeu est niveau 45, le boss. Et moi je l'avais affronté au niveau 2 genre. Il m'avait one shot. Et là même je suis à la fin du jeu et il est encore plus haut niveau que moi. Bizarre. De toute façon on va le faire hein, ce boss. Mais bizarre quand même. Ouais, il y a des boss spéciaux qui ont des aura rouges. Et si tu les bats, tu as des grosses récompenses. Mais je trouve qu'il n'y en a pas assez dans le jeu. Et ceux qu'il y avait, bah, ils étaient trop puissants. Genre le premier est trop puissant. J'en ai battu un seul, je crois. Ou 2. Ah là j'ai farmé qu'une seule fois, c'est hier soir, j'ai farmé 1 heure pour monter 2 niveaux pour faire la session d'aujourd'hui. J'ai des niveaux de retard. Sinon j'ai pas farmé de tout le truc. Alors, on va faire un petit tour à l'auberge. On va cuisiner quoi? Je sais pas moi. Vas-y, on va faire ça.
Thanks for waiting.
On va parler à Shion si on peut. On peut pas, c'est pas un feu de camp. Toi t'es un arnaqueur. Il est où le... quoi? Non, c'est pas toi, c'était l'autre. Ah bah, ah, j'ai débloqué de nouvelles armes. Ouah, elle est trop stylée. Tu vois pourquoi il y a encore des trucs plus hauts? Donc c'est pas la fin du jeu alors. Encore plein d'armes là. Je veux celle-là.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Pas trop, hein, j'avoue. La quête, c'est quoi? Trouver le voleur au château d'El Faris. Où est le... Non, c'est pas celui-là, c'est l'autre ascenseur. C'est celui-là? Ok. Gauche. Je suis en train de remonter en haut là. C'est pas que je suis en train de remonter en haut. Je suis en train de remonter en haut. Le château de Del... C'est quoi Delpha... Attends, le château de Delpharis, c'est où? Ah mais je peux me téléporter, c'est bon. C'est là. Comment je fais pour rentrer? Ah bah c'est le château où je suis, mais... Faut retourner au château. Du château.
Oh, quit grumbling. This sort of stuff's old hat for us by now.
Ok, ça va. Je trouve le voleur. Nourriture. Et 3.
It's not going to take forever, Law, I promise. Let's just do what we came here to do and get out.
De toute façon, on va les faire. On va le faire après, là, je pense, vite fait, le boss, si je peux me téléporter autre part. On va le faire, le boss. Mais oh, qu'est-ce qu'il fait là, lui? What the fuck? Bon, tu peux y aller. De toute façon, je suis à la fois surprise et pas surprise de les voir là. Alors, comme ça, des réserves de ration. Je suis fait retourne tout de suite à ton poste. Oui, lui. Pardon? On va pas qu'une seule fois, retourne tout de suite à ton poste. Mais c'est quoi son problème? L'esclave qui désobéit doit être immédiatement mis à mort. Oh, Seigneur Volran. Mais il est plus là, Volran. Il est con comme une table, lui? Il a pas compris? Il vit dans une autre dimension? Ils m'ont changé mes personnages, fait chier. Je le rechange. Ok, le carré est cool, hein. Le carré est cool. Le nouveau que j'ai eu là, c'est celui-là. Hop, hop, hop. J'aime pas quand on change les ordres de mes persos. Ça m'énerve. Aïe. Malade, hein. Ah, on n'est donc pas un gagnant qui faisait des réservations et des soldats de Volran qui se cachaient dans le château. Je ne sais pas si tu dois être soulagé ou totalement paniqué de cette idée. Vous essayez d'accomplir exactement la vengeance de Volran? Qu'est-ce qui se passe ici? C'est vraiment très étrange. Êtes-vous conscient que le seigneur Volran n'est plus? Ils sont obnubilés par les ordres qui leur ont été donnés. À côté de cela, ils ont l'air totalement absents, tout comme Daniens. Je repense aux soldats que nous avons combattus avec eux aussi la Alors ça devrait dire qu'ils ne se cachaient pas, en réalité ils se contentaient de faire ce qu'ils ont toujours fait. Vraiment en fait tout le monde était réduit en esclavage. Rénien comme Rénien gouvernait donc un royaume de pantins. Je n'explique pas pourquoi ils ne se sont pas tous enfuis à la disparition de Volran comme on a pu le voir ailleurs. Cela fait un mois que Volran a disparu et il est tout à fait plausible que les choses commencent à se dégrader maintenant. Hop, cependant, rien n'ayant changé jusqu'ici, ces soldats ont pu continuer comme à leur habitude. Quelle qu'en soit la raison, on ne peut pas rester les bras croisés, il faut au moins qu'on les ramène à leur caserne jusqu'à nous alors. D'accord, maintenant, reste à savoir s'ils vont accepter de nous suivre. Ils sont restés. Et moi, tout attentivement, je suis le seigneur de Halim, Ilkaras, vous allez obéir à mes ordres, seigneur de Halim, mais si nous sommes au service de... Car Volran a quitté le royaume. Il fait ses fonctions en vertu des lois ukrainiennes, donc tous venus de me prêter l'allégeance. Et c'est lui qui prend le service, c'est bien, sur la ligne, nous sommes à vos ordres. Voilà, on devrait faire l'affaire pour le moment, conduisons ces hommes à leur caserne en retournant voir gagner. Ok, bon, c'est réglé. C'est réglé, easy hein. On peut aussi regarder le design des épées sont souvent moches. Celle que j'ai elle est moche. C'est un cure-dent. Un peu dommage ça. L'évolution des épées en fait on a l'impression de passer sur de bonnes épées à épée de merde alors que l'épée de merde est plus forte que l'épée qui est belle. C'est un peu dommage aussi. Mais bon, ah, c'est des petits défauts. On va se téléporter hein je pense. Il est où le petit là? Voilà, hop. Et quelle heure s'il vous plaît? Tu peux me dire l'heure s'il te plaît, Turpinette?
I've talked to the soldiers and made it clear that they are to remain in line. Things should stay calm for the time being.
I know Renans tend to take authority extremely seriously, but you sure know how to throw your weight around as a former lord.
I only managed to get through to them because Volron's curse is lifting, but not to the extent that they can act independently as of yet. Considering we had other matters to attend to for the past month, we should consider ourselves lucky that nothing occurred during our absence.
But if they do start operating independently again, that's going to cause a whole new set of problems to deal with.
Indeed. Ganeth Heros is unlike Menancia. Without intervention, they'll likely revert to oppressing the Danans as they were doing before.
Meaning there's still a lot of work to be done in this realm. Not that there aren't problems among the Danans, too.
Yes. There was no way to avoid the deep-seated conflicts that had festered here. But... I just hate that we had to use your position as a lord to solve the situation, Dohalim.
Had I not intervened, yet more blood would have spilled here, and nobody wishes for that.
So, what's going to happen to the Renans here now?
Why do you ask?
We've stripped the soldiers of their armor and locked them up. They can't hurt you guys anymore. I promise.
So they're alive? They're not going to die?
What?
Those people deceived us. They did terrible, terrible things to us. They made us suffer. Long before you guys came along. For years and years and years. It was constant. Never stopped. Not even for a day. So many people died. Our parents, our children, our friends. They all died. They were murdered. And it was the Renans. The Renans were the ones who did it! They killed us! Why do they get to live after so many of us have died? The bastards should die! Every last one of them!
I know how you feel, Ganya. I used to be a slave, and I hated the Renans just like you. I took up the blazing sword to bring them down. But along the way, I've met many people and seen many things. People refusing the hand life dealt them. People who have lost loved ones, but are still trying to make this world a better place. People driven by hate who stopped before it was too late. And those who couldn't and paid with their lives. And I fought plenty of people who are all too happy to make others suffer. Believe me. But after a while, I came to realize that it's not the Renans who are our true enemies.
Then what the hell are we fighting if it's not them?
We're fighting against anyone who tries to take what doesn't belong to them.
But that's what these Renans are doing. How is that any different?
Because I judge everyone by their own actions. That goes for Danans too. Because at the end of the day, at the root of all evils committed is an individual who committed them.
You're right, Alphen. It seems like people are either blaming an entire race for one individual's sins, or an individual for everyone else's mistakes. But all that does is add more hate in a world that's already full of it. I want to help create a society where people can finally stop suffering and move beyond their pain. But if we try to do that with more violence, then we'll just end up right back where we started in the first place.
All right. Have it your way. I can't argue with the folks that helped us get back our ability to think and speak freely again.
Is that to say you trust us then?
I don't trust the Renans as far as I can throw them. I trust you guys because of who you are and what you've done.
Fair enough. We won't let you down, Ganya.
What's the matter, Kisara? Is something wrong?
Oh, no, nothing. It's fine, really. I'm just a bit worried about what'll happen to all these folks.
Right. It'll take time before they start thinking for themselves again.
Indeed, that is part of it. However, what I'm even more worried about is what will happen to them after that. What do you think they're going to want once they realize how cruel Volron was to them?
Probably revenge.
What happened to Ganeth Haros is the worst form of oppression we've seen, but treated cruelly or kindly, slaves will rise up.
Lenegis aside, there are still remnants of Renan supremacists scattered throughout Dana.
You mean all that trouble we went through to get rid of the Lords might just lead to more violence? That's the last thing I want to see happen.
Of course not. And if we don't do something to prevent it all from starting up again, there could be even more bloodshed for us to regret. There's still a lot we don't know about the Renan rulers. Whatever the face of truth behind their veil, it's on us to put a stop to them. But there is one thing that's clear. Whatever we do to finally end it, our motives can't be getting back at the Renans, or it'll all be for nothing.
So, what exactly is it that you're saying? That we should just act as if nothing happened?
Law's right. We can't expect everyone to just forget all the pain they've endured up until now. Not so easily, at least.
But we have to at least try to change course. We can't just keep allowing history to repeat itself like this.
Exactly. Look, I won't deny that between the crown contest and 300 years of oppression, there's a lot of bad blood between the Danans and the Renans. But all these problems are just too big for us to try to carry the burden on our own. We'll keep doing our part in the interim, but we need to take this one battle at a time.
Ok, bon laisse tomber turpinette, laisse tomber, laisse tomber. Hop. Stylo. Hop. L. Hop. Chion. Hop. Et hop. Voilà, plus de R par pitié.
I don't think we're done just yet. I want you all to
Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres à régler? Bon, en fait, il y a plein de petits trucs à régler dans la ville, en fait. Moi, j'aimerais bien... Ah, tu vois, on peut pas se téléporter encore. On est baisé. Genre, je peux pas me téléporter. Dans les autres villes. Et pourquoi, en fait? Donc je peux pas, en fait je peux pas, je voulais tester le boss, je peux pas. Bon, bah tant pis hein. I can't hein. Si tu laisses tomber, tu repies.
Where are you going?
Since when do I need your permission to move around?
I wasn't saying that you do. Though I'm not sure why you're biting my head off about it either.
Oh, that's so typical of you. How can you be so relaxed about all this? At this very moment, the enemy is doing who knows what behind the scenes. And yet we're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs in Ganeth Harrows.
I know that. But our hands are tied right now. What do you want me to do? And what's gotten into you anyway? Is there something you want to say to me, Shion?
Look, you're right. Forget I said anything.
If I said something to hurt you, I'm sorry. But I honestly don't know what I said to upset you so much. I really wish you would tell me.
You don't need to apologize. You didn't say anything. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. Not really.
Then why?
Please just drop it. I don't want to talk about it.
All right. If that's what you want, I won't push any further.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Just don't be too hard on yourself, okay?
Pas de R1, pas de R1, merci. Non, bah fallait écouter hein, et j'aurais pu répondre à la question. Qu'est-ce qui lui est arrivé? Aïe aïe, il est en train de crever. Pauvre. Oh la merde du garçon qui est mort. Ah il est vraiment mort, j'ai ça pour rigoler moi. Hein. Ah oui, donc le mec est vraiment mort. Il y a une quête secondaire ici. Il y a une quête secondaire tout droit. Ah mais c'est lui là. Celui qui mange. Bon, c'est rapide hein. Hop voilà. Blablabla. Le gars du gourmet. Hop. Et la quête est terminée. 3. Non. Hello.
Sorry.
Yes.
Elle s'en bat les couilles que son fils soit mort. Elle s'en bat les couilles. Je lui dis son fils est mort, elle a dit ok. Déjà ah, super hein. C'est plaisir en tout cas. Ça fait plaisir. Je pense qu'il faut finir les quêtes principales pour pouvoir débloquer le... Pour débloquer les autres régions.
I know she doesn't mean anything bad by it. I know that, but
yes.
What?
Il va brûler son fils. D'accord. Bon, c'est une quête principale qui fait quand même très secondaire. Donc on va passer les dialogues. En gros, je vais brûler mon fils, voilà. Reste tout.
That little speech you gave back there was pretty.
Something's eating at you again, huh?
I don't know if I would say that. I mean... Actually, I guess I do have one or two things on my mind. My people, we lived in hiding, so we never really experienced the full extent of Renan oppression. Not directly, anyway. After Almadria killed my mother and father, though, I guess that's when I started hating them so much. The Renans, I mean. But then I think of all those people who were born into slavery, The ones who never even got angry in the first place because it was all they ever knew.
I hear you. Every city we've been to, it's the resistance that gets labeled the troublemakers for having the guts to do the right thing.
When it comes down to it, sometimes I wonder which of us really has the better way.
You can't let your anger eat away at you, Rinwell. But then again, losing your parents that way... Hell, who could really blame you for it if you did? I guess what I'm trying to say is... sorry. Hell, it's hard putting this stuff into words.
No, I get it. You're saying that grief and anger are different than hatred. I never thought of it like that. But hearing you say it, it makes sense. Thanks, Law.
You're welcome?
Ok. Suivant. Ouais, c'est les quêtes principales, mais qui sont très secondaires. Je vois où ça mène. De toute façon, on va continuer. Hein. Tant qu'on n'a pas fini.
They're going to need more. What?
What's that noise?
Help it, this is bad! Look at the sky!
Huh?
What's happening to Rena and Lenegis?
It looks like Lenegis is transforming? But into what? What's going on?
How the hell are we supposed to fight the Renans if they're packing that kind of arsenal?
It seems they've broken their silence at last. My concern is that object they've dropped into the water. It's as if they're driving a literal wedge into Dana.
Not just into Dana, but her own resistance too. And what's with that beam of light coming down from above? Got any idea what that could be?
Astral energy.
Are you serious? All of that is astral energy? But that...
It's a lot for sure. Not even all the astral energy harvested by every lord combined compares to that column.
They're trying to squeeze every last bit of energy out of the planet.
But why? I thought they only needed to harvest astral energy as part of the crown contest.
Who cares? If we don't stop it now, the whole of Dana is going to be hollowed into oblivion.
Oblivion.
Do you think that red woman is behind this?
It certainly wouldn't surprise me. Just as the Sovereign, the Maiden, and all 5 Master Cores are gathered in one location, she appears out of nowhere bearing a 6th core. She then forces the 2 of you to help her assemble the Renis Alma. Just what kind of person is this woman?
You mean you don't know her?
Pardon?
She was there at your palace, wasn't she? I figured you knew who she was.
Are you saying I should be familiar with this woman?
Well, sure. I remember seeing her with you back at Adelina Palace several times. Everyone in the guard always wondered who she was.
Now that you mention it, I remember seeing her with Balsef too. You saw her, right, Shion? Shion?
Oh, sorry, I drifted off. As far as I remember, the first time I saw her was when we ran into her in Pelagian.
Seriously? How could you two not notice her before? She sticks out like a sore thumb.
I guess I always figured she kept an eye on the lords for the Renin top brass.
You're sure you don't remember ever seeing her before?
I'm certain of it. My memory has never failed me.
But if it's not that, then...
We'll get to the bottom of this later. Right now, that wedge is a bigger concern.
Well, what are we gonna do then? We're not gonna be able to leave Ganeth Haros until we come up with a plan, right?
Cislodia lies beyond the northern mountain range.
Yeah, but we haven't found a single route through those mountains while we've been here. And we haven't gotten clues from any of the freed locals either.
Surely there must be a way through. This realm can't have been completely isolated from the rest of the outside world for 300 years. Volron may have simply sealed and hidden it.
Okay, then let's try asking the townspeople again if they know anything. Who knows? We might have missed something the first time around.
Sounds good to me. Better that than trying to build a boat from scratch. Let's start searching.
That...
I bet the whole of Dan is losing its mind right about now.
And just when we'd finished liberating all the realms. So much for things getting somewhere close to normal.
It's too calculated. As if whoever's behind all this was watching us.
The people of Pelagian seem pretty unfazed given the circumstances.
They've yet to get the full range of their emotions back. Maybe it's for the best. Can you imagine the panic otherwise?
Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to leave, that's for sure.
Whatever Lenegis is planning, it's a fair bet this wedge they've sent down is just the beginning.
Even now, they're stealing away Dana's astral energy as we speak. Come on, we don't have much time.
Hey, when that wedge dropped down on Dana, did anyone else see any weird lights?
Ok, c'est intéressant là.
Indeed. As I recall, it was 4 lights, each one a different...
Alors, tomber de l'analyse, Bruno, hein. Ah, c'est tout. Ok, super, merci. Nous, on veut la cachette secrète pour partir. Oui. Et... Ok.
Where are these Forland Mountains exactly?
Les Forland. Hop. Ah, il y avait un passage là-bas? Aucun souvenir qu'il y avait un passage là-bas. Hein. Y'a quoi ici? Il y a une sorte de boss. Plus simple par là en vrai. Je vais faire la quête principale, voir ce qui se passe. C'est la fin de la session dans pas longtemps là.
Into the Love-2 marshlands.
I don't remember there being any sort of path like that around there.
It's possible we overlooked something before. It wouldn't hurt to look again.
J'ai l'impression qu'il y a un boss aussi au-dessus. On le fera plus tard. On le fera plus tard. Il y avait ce chemin la première fois, je crois pas. Hein. Il y avait pas ce chemin de mémoire. Bizarre. Hein.
Armored soldiers.
Some of Volron's former guards.
Let's take them out quick before things get messy.
Okay, let's go. J'ai oublié de changer l'ordre des persos.
I shall ensure you survive this. An astral art?
That's my cue.
Shut him down. Try harder. My turn.
Et en vent, hein.
Coming through. Ha! Now. Scarlet Inferno.
Will this help? As impressive as always.
Putain, ils m'ont tout changé, c'est relou.
I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Shion actually look flustered.
Du coup, le jeu continue, hein, donc moi je pensais que c'était la fin du jeu, mais pas du tout.
Now isn't the time?
Je pensais que c'était genre, oh c'est la fin, rendez-vous à Rise 2. Et apparemment non.
To stop you dying?
Right. Coming through.
Je sais pas.
Now. Scarlet Inferno.
Raging Cascade!
No further. Dragon form. Back to blade.
Ouais, c'est tranquille toi.
You fight better at a distance. The further away, the better.
Face.
You and I both.
Shion, Astral Energy! Full throttle!
Ok.
What's with the hole here? Is that supposed to be their hideout?
It doesn't look like it's freshly dug, whatever it is. Maybe it's the entrance to a path to Cyslodia. Everything all right?
Hmm? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Let's go.
Ouais, très bizarre, Shion. Je pense que Volran il est pas mort aussi.
I don't know when it happened, but we sure are hauling a lot of stuff these days.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. Glad to hear I'm not the only one.
We should probably clear some stuff out. Like our old weapons we're not using anymore. They must be in pretty bad shape by now.
No way. Those are still good as new with a little polishing. If anything, I'd say all our armor is what's weighing us down.
But that armor's also still good once you fix it up. Besides, better to have too much armor than too little. You can trust me on that one.
Well, what about all these dumb old antiques we're lugging around? If we sell those off, that should lighten our load.
Simpletons such as yourself who can't appreciate the true worth of such things is how precious art vanishes from history.
Pretty art's not gonna save you in a fight, man.
Stop it, you guys! This is no time to...
All I really meant to say is, you can tell how much we've been through by everything we're carrying around. Honestly, that's all.
Oh.
My deepest apologies. It appears that I may have rather overreacted.
Yeah, I guess it's only natural we'd have so many souvenirs by now. I might have been out of line too.
I guess all this stuff really is a sign of how far we've come together.
Yeah, every little piece is its own treasure, filled with memories.
Let's
Those
go.
astral arts
Un
of
petit
yours
errant.
are pretty impressive.
Thanks! You're full of surprises yourself.
Ok, bon. On va sauvegarder déjà. Hop, et on va s'arrêter ici pour cette session de jeu.